up fumbled and then dropped in his tracks. Number 84, Latrell Eaton from Akron Garfield. So the Student Princes take over. First down, 10 yards to go at the 17-yard line. And thus far, Ken Wable, the Purple Raiders appear to be coming out with a little blood in their eye today. See a very aggressive style of play on both sides of the ball.
Yes, they seem to be up for the game. Of course, homecoming games will bring that out in good teams, and I'm glad to see them that way.
Muster hands to the fullback, and Roger Bradley pounds his way ahead just shy of the 20-yard line. Bradley is 6'2", 210, a sophomore from Circleville, Ohio. Number 5, Todd Meyer, out of the lineup for Coach Dick West, replaced by Ray Anderson. He's from Painesville, Riverside, a 6'2" junior. Muster gives on the delay to Bradley. He fumbles the ball. It bounces ahead over the 25. And the Purple Raiders do not have possession. They rule the ball down before the fumble.
Pretty close call. Bob Celeste from the Purple Raiders pouncing on the football after the fumble. Let's take another look. I don't think the ground is the factor that knocked the ball loose, but Heidelberg retains possession.
Third down. Along 5. That's Meyer in motion. Muster fires a BB right through the hands of the intended receiver, Kevin Cushion. He is a 6'2", 170-pound junior from Parma. The ball through his hands, so it's now 4th and 5.
Yeah, that was a nice pass. That ball probably should have been caught there, and if it would have continued Heidelberg's drive. Heidelberg's just a little bit conservative now in the first part of the game, but they narrowly missed on that pass there.
Muster will be back to punt, standing at his own 6-yard line. 10:45 to play in the first period. The punt picked off by Iyer just shy of the 50. He gets to midfield and is spun down at the 49-yard line. Bill Iyer from Minerva, 6'2", 200 pounds. And we'll be back after this timeout.
Back here at Mount Union Stadium, Purple Raiders putting the ball in play with a 7-0 lead, and field position has been in the favor of Mount Union up to now.
They start this drive with a 49. That's where the last one began, that culminated in a touchdown. Ravarsic to Kring, battles his way to the 47-yard line, wrestled down at the 46. For the Student Princes, Mick Antonacci, 6'2", a junior from North Miami Beach, Florida, made the tackle.
Joe, Mount Union's playing a 3-receiver offense now without a tight end, and they're trying to spread out Heidelberg's defense, and they're trying to run that draw play then up on that inside to take a little heat off of their passing game.
Hoja and Iyer are both out wide to the right. Iyer goes in motion. Rabarsic keeps and is dropped inside the 45-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and about 5 yards to go. 7-0, Mount Union leads. 9:45 to play of the first period. Ball at the Heidelberg 44.
Heidelberg in this week's Ohio Conference stats ranked 2nd in total defense, allowing 278 yards per game. So stiffening up at this point.
Hoja wide right, Iyer well out to the left. Rabarsic back, flips to Kring, who as he turned lost possession of the football. Applying the pressure for Heidelberg was Jim Hallman, a linebacker out of St. Mary's. So it's 4th down and 5 yards to go. You're going to see a new punter today, Jeff Roach. Roach, a sophomore, 6'0", 195 out of United Local. Comes from Hanoverton, Ohio. This will be his first punt as a Purple Raider. He has to play the snapback on one hop, gets the wobbly boot away, and it takes a Mount Union bounce and goes out at the 14-yard line. So it's first down and 10 yards to go. About a 30-yard punt, Ken, and that takes care of a whole lot of butterflies right there as far as Mr. Roach is concerned.
No return either. That's very good when it goes out of bounds. Heidelberg did a good job defensively that series. They're playing a 2-linebacker defense. Traditionally, they're a 1-linebacker defense, and they're causing a few problems that are unusual for them to present.
Muster at quarterback. He's from Cuyahoga Falls. The long count with Meyer in motion. And the handoff on a slant play goes to Mark Strom from Cary, Ohio. And the freshman carries the ball less than a yard. It's just shy of the 15-yard line. And again, Coach Dick West brings Anderson into the ball game in place of Meyer. And Anderson comes out wide to the left. Kevin Cushion out wide to the right. Bradley and Tui in the backfield. Quick pass on the slant pattern intended for Anderson. Incomplete. And that'll bring it to third down and 10 yards to go. And the Heidelberg offense thus far, Ken, has really not had much of an opportunity to get itself set. The Mount Union Purple Raiders appear to be applying a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it seems like last week against Wittenberg we were defending a lot, and this week we're rushing a little bit, and this may be causing a little problem for Heidelberg.
Third down, 10 yards to go at the Heidelberg 15-yard line. Muster back to pass. Unloads up the middle through the hands and ruled incomplete. The diving attempt made by Ned Bahoff at the 35-yard line. Ned is 5'10" and a senior out of North Canton Jackson. They'll bring the ball back, ruled an incomplete pass to the 15-yard line, and Muster will be again forced to punt with 8:27 to play in the first period. Mount Union leading 7-0.
And barring any mistakes, should be good field position again for the Purple Raiders.
Yes, we've taken the ball over on our plus 49 or plus 50-yard line the last two times, and this. Oh.
Well, the ball ricocheted off the foot of Iyer. It originally was in the grasp of Brian Moore, ricocheted away from him, hit Iyer in the foot, and then bounced back into Mount Union territory. And the Purple Raiders will have the ball at the 42-yard line. Let's look at this one again.
Yeah, follow the bouncing ball.
Yeah, I already had us catching that ball and being in the middle of the field, but we kick it around a little bit, and we recovered fortunately, though.
Iyer was the man who finally regained possession of the football. Rabarczyk has his Purple Raider club at the 42. Iyer in motion. And this one is caught by Hoja over the midfield stripe and down to the 44-yard line. That'll be first down and 10 yards to go. Rabarczyk, in passing this year, has hit, coming into today's game, 45 of 78 with 6 touchdowns.
That was this is a curl pattern here with Bill Iyer running down and Hoja curling to the inside. Our quarterback does a nice job as he gets a zone defense, and he hits him right in between the two Heidelberg defenders.
At the 44, first down, 10 yards to go. Frost in motion. Kring ahead to the 40-yard line. He was tripped up on his way by number 99, Charles Renault, a defensive tackle, 230 pounds, out of Monroe. Second down, 7 yards to go, 7:35 and counting here in the first period at Mount Union College Stadium. Homecoming Saturday afternoon. And Russ Kring has 42 yards to gather in to become the all-time rushing leader at Mount Union, and he is almost there. He has already moved into the number 2 spot. Rabarczyk to Kring, 40, 35 and out. They'll say he went out at the 36-yard line. Ken, in going to the top of the all-time rushing leaderboard here at Mount Union, Russ Kring is going to pass two football players at Mount Union who really had outstanding careers here.
Yes, Dave McLaughlin is our #1 rusher. Dave's at Michigan State now as a graduate assistant, working on his master's degree. He was an outstanding runner, and Mark Chapa is probably one of the best veerbacks we've ever had, who is our #2 rusher.
It is now 3rd down and 2. Frost fighting his way to the 35-yard line. He'll be shy of first down yardage. They'll leave it at 4th down and 2 at the 36-yard line for all intents and purposes. And they decide to go for it. Coming into the ball game for the Purple Raiders, number 87, John Dustle from Fairview Park. Meyer goes wide left. Hoja wide right. Bringing Frost to the setbacks behind Rabarsic, who throws for Hoja. He caught it, and they say out of bounds. Incomplete pass at the 17 or 18-yard line. Coach?
Well, this is one of the things that we do quite a bit here. We make a fake on this short yardage situation and then try to hit a guy over on the sideline. The pass is just a little bit high maybe, and we didn't have enough room on that sideline probably to make a good catch out of it. But it was a good try, though.
Anthony Kaiser, #1, came over really to make the play and knock it out of Hoja's hands. I think he had the foot down, but Kaiser knocked it loose.
Yeah, the foot was down, but the contact knocked the ball free and then out of bounds. Now Heidelberg gets the ball back at the 35. Muster for Tui, and all Tui had to do was turn and run, but his anticipation cost him a possession, and it is 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Bryce Tui, 5'10", 175 pounds, a sophomore from Toledo Bousher.
Heidelberg came into this game completing 52% of its passes, but thus far 0 for 5.
Out wide to the right is Kevin Cashin. Anderson wide to the left. And the give is to Tui with a flag of the play. Fumbles the football that is picked up by Mount Union, but let's check the flag. Fumble was recovered at the 38-yard line.
We have offsides, defense, 5 yards.
5-yard penalty, and Heidelberg maintains possession, Ken.
Yeah, I think that there's a little cadence on a longer count that time, and I think there's a little movement in our defensive line, and I think they maybe got us on a long count.
2nd down, 5 yards to go. Kring now needs 6 yards rushing for the all-time school record. But Heidelberg has the ball at the moment. 6:03 to play in the first quarter. Mount Union leads 7-0 in their homecoming game here in Alliance. Bradley wide to the right. Couldn't get the corner turned, and he was dumped, unceremoniously leveled at the 40-yard line. And making the heavy hit on the far side, Bob Celeste, a senior from Willoughby. Dick West continues to alternate Anderson and Meyer. And this is Anderson, number 24, back into the ball game, and he's wide to the left. Puts Cashin into slot, and then he goes into motion. Muster back for the quick pitch to Tui, and Tui fights his way for a first down up to the 49-yard line.
We had a pass rush on that time, Joe, but it was such a short pass and such a quick pass that they got the pass away, and they did get their first down. A little fake to the fullback in there, and just a little dunk over to the slot back, and resulted in a first down for Heidelberg.
Student Princes just shy of the 50-yard line. Meyer back in the ball game, wide to the left. Muster gives to Tui, and he is immediately met and stopped. Bill Beebe, defensive tackle from Brush High School, South Euclid, made the initial contact. Loss on the play of a couple of yards. Second down, 12 yards to go. 4 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the first period. 7-0 in favor of the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Mount will remain home next Saturday for Ohio Northern. Heidelberg has to go home and play Baldwin Wallace. Muster right down the middle, intended for Anderson, and he is hit just as the ball got there. He was KO'd by Bill Monday from Chagrin Falls Waltz Jesuit, a senior, and that was a big league hit.
That was a nice pass. The receiver was open when the ball was thrown, and Muster threw it in there very good, and then Chris Weber comes in this action too and puts a little lick on that receiver, so he knew that he was in on a play that time.
So the count is third down, 12 yards to go. Heidelberg with the ball, 4 minutes and 9 seconds to play of the first period. Mount Union leading 7-0. Muster couldn't find anybody open. He's at the 50 and falls forward to the 48-yard line. Getting a hand of the ankle going by again was Bill Beebe.
That was very good defense that time, Joe. We had double coverage on about everybody there, and there was no receiver open, so the quarterback did have an opening to run, which he did, but being a long yardage situation, they're going to have to punt on fourth down. So that was very good defense out of the Purple Raiders.
4th and 8. Clock ticks down to 3:37 to play of the first period. Muster, the Heidelberg quarterback, is going to punt from the 36. It is a fair catch, caught by Brian Moore, and Mount Union takes over. We'll be back.
You're watching Stark County's only local television station, WIVM TV 52, Canton.
Back at Mount Union Stadium, Purple Raiders with the ball at their own 18, the worst field position they've had thus far this afternoon.
Rabarczyk to Kring. Kring turns at the 20 and is able to get ahead to the 40 to the 24-yard line, making the tackle is number 42, Ken Rankin from Sandusky, a 6'2 senior. About 5 yards on the pickup, almost 6. Call it second down, either a short 5 or a long 4 with 2:52 to play, and the ball resting at the 24-yard line in Mount Union territory. Hoja and Iyer, wide right and left. Kring, big yardage. There's the record right there as he goes ahead to the 35-yard line. He needed 6 to go into the #1 spot in the all-time rushing annals of Mount Union College, and he picked up that and more.
Well, here's the history maker right here.
Again, this is a draw play with Mount Union in wide formations, getting Heidelberg spread over the field, and Kring trying to run the draw up the middle, and goes to the sideline and sets the record.
Ken, it looks to me as though Kring is running harder now than I saw at the outset of the season in the Worcester ball game. He was more up and down in the Worcester game. Now he's leaning into those tackles.
I think you're right, Joe. He was injured for a while and didn't get a lot of practice time. He's getting better and getting the feel of the thing.
That's Frost in motion for the Purple Raiders. A 1st and 10, and Rabarczyk unloads for Hoja, and there is going to be interference called, I believe, on Hoja. Anthony Kaiser for Heidelberg from Toledo start was ready for an interception.
Interference, offense.
Offensive pass interference, Ken.
Yes, this was that same curl pattern we've been throwing against their zone, but we're throwing it from a different formation, and since we put the motion guy, they seem to have 2 extra guys out there now, and there's 3 guys in the curl zone, and Hoja did the best he could to knock the ball down so it couldn't be intercepted, even though we got the penalty.
Yeah, Hoja turned into a defender, as you saw in the replay. He had to bat the ball away. And even though offensive interference carries with it the yardage plus the down, it really did save an interception.
That adds up to second down and 25 yards to go. The ball was at the Mount Union 18-yard line. Iyer wide right, Hoja wide left. Frost and Kring in the backfield behind Rabarczyk, and it's Frost who gets the pitch out and gets ahead to the 20-yard line before he is buried by the student princes of Heidelberg. And the last off the bottom of the pile, number 44, Brian Wright from Williamsburg. Change for Mount Union. Coming out of the ball game is Brian Coffey at tight end, and coming into the contest, number 87, John Dostal. Rabarczyk to Hoja on the reverse. Hoja trying to turn the corner, gets it done. 25 up to the 28, fumbles the ball, and Heidelberg recovers at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, that was a real good call from the press box from the viewpoint of setting up this thing. We've run this option play. They're stopping it now, so this is the reverse off the option play. But Heidelberg had some people over on the far side, and they got some good tackles and good shots on our ball carrier, and we did drop the ball and fumbled it, and they recovered.
Mike Antonacci made the recovery for the student princes. They take over 1st and 10 at the Mount Union 30-yard line. Mustard to Tui. The 30 bounces off a couple of people and goes down to the 24-yard line. Scott Hewitt, a 6'2", 225 senior from Conneaut Edgewood, made the tackle. Ball resting at the 24-yard line. Second down, 4 yards to go. 37 seconds to play in the first period. Mount Union leads 7-0. Give up the middle to Bradley, and the big guy rumbles down to the 16-yard line. There are flags on the play. He has the first down yardage. Offside, Mount Union.
I think the cadence in there is bothering some of those interior linemen a little bit, Joe. They seem to jump a little bit, and it seems like the ball snapped a little bit later. So maybe they're listening to the cadence, or they're trying to go on the count or something.
Offside, defense, decline. First down.
First down for the student princes with 26 seconds to play in the first period. And they're down at the 16-yard line in Mount Union territory. Tui and Bradley behind Muster. Tui goes in motion. Give to Bradley, and Bradley battles his way down to the 11, but again, flags are flying with 6 seconds to play of the period.
Same thing.
Yeah, well, that time I think it's a little different situation. That time we had an interior blitz called by our linebackers, and they're trying to time from their linebacker spot their blitz, and I think they were just a little bit offsides.
We have offsides, defense, first down.
That had nothing to do with the cadence, I don't think, that time.
So it'll be first down for the student princes at the 11-yard line. 6 seconds left of the first quarter. Anderson comes back in for the student princes, replacing Meyer. And time expires. So at the end of the first period of play, it is Mount Union 7 and Heidelberg 0.
Local television
Is back.
I'm so excited.
Boy, am I glad to hear that local television is back.
I'm so excited.
Call your local cable provider to get channel 52 on your local cable system.
Back at Mount Union Stadium, the Purple Raiders leading 7-0 over the Heidelberg Student Princes, but The Student Princes on the move here, able to muster, if you'll pardon the pun, their first legitimate drive of this ball game, and they've got the ball just outside of the 10-yard line of the Purple Raiders. And Heidelberg going to work with Bryce Toohey, who now has picked up 13 yards and 4 carries after being stopped the first couple times he had the ball. He's the number 5 rusher in the OAC, Russ Kring being number 2 for the Purple Raiders.
Bradley, number 29, Toohey, number 11 in the Heidelberg backfield behind number 15, Mike Mustard. The long count. Mustard intending a pass for Kevin Cushion, the junior from Parma Senior. Again, hit hard as the ball arrived. Second down, 5.
Well, Ned Bahoff made the play there. That one looked like it was going to be a completion down inside the 10, but Bahoff was there.
Yeah, that was a good play by Ned. He had inside position on the receiver as he's supposed to have, and he played for the ball and got his hand in, deflected it, and it was a very nice play.
It'll be second down. Still about 4 yards to go. Ball outside the 10-yard line. The pitch to Toohey, the 10, and down to the 8-yard line. Then on second effort, he bounces down over the 5. It looked as though he was buried at the 8 and somehow squirmed out of that pile, Ken, and worked his way all the way down to the 4-yard line for first and goal.
Yeah, I think what's happening here is our defense is doing a good job in pursuit, and our defense is coming over hitting each other, and we knock ourselves off of the ball carrier, and he keeps on going for the extra yardage.
That's exactly what happened there. First down, goal to go for Heidelberg between the 3 and 4-yard line. 14:40 to play in the first half. That's Meyer in motion. Bradley pounding to the 2-yard line. Tedesco at the bottom of that pile for the Purple Raiders. Second down. 2.5 yards to go for the touchdown. 14:09 to play in the first half. 7-0. Mount Union leads, but the Student Princes are knocking on the door. Ernst at center, the first over the ball for the Princes. Cushion in motion, and Muster wanted to throw, but couldn't find anybody open, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Third down.
Have to give the secondary a lot of credit there. Muster was looking in the end zone. He had several receivers in the end zone, but all recovered.
Yeah, they have an unusual formation. They have 2 tight ends and 2 wing backs, and one of them comes in motion, and that is their running formation. And yet he tried to pass out of it, and our coverage was very good, and it was a good play.
Cushion out wide to the left. Meyer slotted to the left side. Bradley and Toohey, the setbacks in the eye behind Mustard. And the give is to Toohey, and he finds the corner and a touchdown. 12:56 to play here in the second period, Ken Wable, and now it's 7-6 in favor of Mount Union.
Yeah, this is a toss sweep down on the goal line, and I think the flankers way out to the wide side of the field, and they're sweeping back into the sidelines. And Mount Union may have been just a little bit undershifted over here, but it was a good play, good blocking, and it resulted in a touchdown, and they're now kicking the extra point.
Kicking will be John Davis, and he puts it through, and we have a brand new game. It is Mount Union 7, Heidelberg 7, with 12:56 to play in the second period.
Well, just as the first period appeared to go Mount Union's way, Heidelberg getting off to a good start here in the second period. Purple Raiders wanting to turn that around. They enjoyed good field position throughout that first period, and yet only got 7 points out of it. And then once things went Heidelberg's way, the Student Princes taking advantage and marching the ball in.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Heidelberg was a little tense, and they were trying to get their feet on the ground there early in the first quarter, and it's very obvious that they've got their feet on the ground now, and their offense is working, and I'm sure their momentum is going to be a lot tougher now for the remainder of this half.
7 plays, 30 yards. It took them 3 minutes and 54 seconds, capped by Bryce Toohey's 2-yard run. Davis with the kick. It's a 7-7 tie at Mount Union. And the kick comes down at the 20-yard line. Picked up at the 20 and up to the 30-yard line is Dean Paul. 5'11", 184 sophomore from Garrettsville. First down, 10 yards to go with the ball resting just over the Mount Union 30-yard line. Keith Rabarczyk, 6 feet even, 190, a junior from Oberlin Elyria Catholic, the quarterback for the Purple Raiders. Rabarczyk throws. It is caught by Bill Iyer. He is wrestled down at the 35-yard line. They rule his forward progress to the 39. Second down and 2 yards to go.
Anthony Kaiser making the stop on Iyer, but again, the forward progress made it about an 8-yard gain. That's always dangerous to be wrestling down the player a little bit after the fact in front of the opponent's bench.
Number 32, Don Israel, is into the backfield, standing just ahead of Kring in the eye behind Rabarczyk, and it's Kring who gets the handoff and gets nothing in terms of real estate. Third down, 2 yards to go.
Heidelberg had excellent penetration with their defensive line that time, and Israel came in to be a lead blocker so that Kring could run that isolation play for the first down, and Heidelberg did a very fine job and stuffed that play for a no gain.
Number 9, Brian Frost, the junior from Austintown Fitch, has come back into the backfield for the Raiders. Turn, the give to Kring, and he muscles his way over the 40-yard line, and he is close to the first down to the 41.
Well, Kring did a good job there trying to place the ball in front of the yard marker, but it remains to be seen whether he picked it up. And the indication is that he did. Fine job by Russ Kring.
Yeah, that was a good second effort on that time. It looks like the field might be a little bit soft right out there in that area, too. And when you're trying to go for short yardage, you need good footing, and he did a fine job of reaching forward with the ball.
Mike O'Donnell did a nice job of helping to secure some of that real estate, working from his offensive guard spot. Coming out very wide to the left now for the Purple Raiders is Julio San Clemente, but the give is to Frost, and he is greeted before he could get to the 40-yard line by Ken Rankin, a defensive end, a senior from Sandusky, who came bursting through, and it cost the Raiders a couple of yards.
See Jeff Wendorf there across the way sending in the play. You won't see Larry Karras on the field because he calls the play from what is referred to as the crow's nest. It's a bird's eye view from up there.
Rabarczyk back to pass for the Raiders, and he is hit from behind and dropped at the 45-yard line of the man who nailed him, number 44, Brian Wright, from Williamsburg Western Brown.
This is a drop back pass, and Heidelberg's in a zone defense, and they've got the receivers covered real well. There's nothing open at all, and the line really did a good job protecting, but they just they couldn't do it forever. And the rush finally got to the quarterback, and we took a little bit of a loss on that play.
Well, evidently there was a flag down on that play, though, and the Purple Raiders are going to benefit by it.
There seems to be a holding penalty.
Defensive holding. That'll put the ball right at the 49-yard line. Second down and about a yard to go, maybe 2.
Never saw the flag, did you, Jim?
I did not.
I didn't either. I was watching the receivers, and there just wasn't any receivers open at all.
And Clemente out wide to the left, Iyer to the right side. Kring and Hoja are the setbacks, and it's Hoja in motion. Robarsik for San Clemente, and incomplete. Anthony Kaiser was down there on pass coverage defensively.
This is the same type of pass we're throwing again. We're going back to this curl area, thinking we got a zone defense. We want to hit the seam in there, but the 2 defenders from Heidelberg both come in and play the receiver real well, and there's very little chance for him to catch that ball.
Kaiser, as mentioned, one of the defenders, and Ed Hernando, a junior from North Miami Beach, the other. Robarsik to Kring. He bursts right down the middle. 30, 25, and 20. 15, 10, and hauled down at the 9-yard line by Jeff Hall. They'll mark his forward progress at the 11. First down, 10 yards to go for the Purple Raiders.
Now, Russ Kring, who wears the dark shoes to make him look a little slower than he is, put on a burst of speed there to get into the secondary and almost went the distance.
Yeah, that was one of our veer plays, and evidently Heidelberg wasn't expecting it. It just kind of slipped through there, and Kring made the most of it.
Iyer and Hoja out wide to the left. Robarsik pitch back to Kring, the 10, the 5, and down at the 2-yard line. Knocked down by Jeff Hall, a junior from Dayton Chaminade. They'll spot the ball inside the 3. Second down, a yard to go for the first down, and inside 3 yards to go for the touchdown. Frost is out, and again in the Mount Union backfield, number 32, Don Israel. Iyer in motion. Give to Kring. He may have the first down. Nope. He is down at the 1.5-yard line. Third down, Israel out, Frost is back in. Hoja goes wide left. Iyer into the slot on the left. Kring pounds to the goal line.
Well, it looks like they're getting awful close to that goal line, Joe.
Yep, and it is a first down. First down, inches to the goal line now, Coach. 7:50 to play in the first half, and again, Israel comes into the ball game, replacing Frost. Don Israel is 5'11", 195, a sophomore from Louisville, Ohio. It's Kring leaping at the goal line and shoved back.
Still can't get it in.
Leave it.
Not too much green between the tip of the football and the goal line at this point.
Frost back in for Israel.
Well, the ball's resting on the goal line, and it looks like Kring gets the ball back up to the goal line, but he doesn't seem to be able to get it in.
Robarsik to Kring, tries again, and this time it's a touchdown. 13-7 in favor of the Purple Raiders as Russ Kring tallies from the 1-yard line.
A nice blocking by the left side of the offensive line, and the lead back by Israel leading the play in, and Kring easily and clearly scored on that play.
6 minutes and 56 seconds to play in the first half.
Yeah, Russ Kring getting the ball 6 consecutive times on that drive. Finally getting it in there.
Well, he can rest now for a while.
Edelman drives that extra point through the uprights, and it is 14-7 Mount Union. We'll be back.
Hi, this is John Martin from Ganley Lincoln Mercury. Being #1 in sports takes hard work and dedication from the entire team.
Making your next car purchase the best it can be requires many of the same things. That's why at Ganley Lincoln Mercury, we combine a great sales staff with our top quality service department and back them with great parts and support. An entire team of professionals working hard together to make our customers #1.
Dynamite deals every day. At Ganley, you're #1.
Russ Kring doing yeoman's work to get the ball into the end zone and give the Purple Raiders a 14-7 lead. And now it'll be Mount Union kicking off to the Student Princes, Joe.
Edelman with the kick. Coming down to number 84, Latrell Eaton, 15-20, and down at the 23-yard line. Tackle made for Mount Union by Steve Fellinger. Fellinger, 6 feet even, 180, a sophomore from Chardon. Well, that drive took 12 plays, covered 69 yards. It went 6 minutes and culminated in the Kring touchdown, his 5th of the year. And now on the day, Ken Wable, it is Kring for 14 attempts and 96 yards.
Yes, he's having a great day, and that was one great run he made in that last drive.
Muster to Bradley, who couldn't find the middle open, so he ran around to the left and found some real estate up to the 32-yard line. Tackle applied by B.J. Tedesco, a junior from Cleveland St. Edward. The ball resting at the Heidelberg 32.
Coming into the game, Bradley, the #2 rusher on Heidelberg's team, averaging 3.7 yards per carry, right behind Bryce Toohey.
Anderson coming out wide to the right. Mike Muster at quarterback for Heidelberg. Gives to Toohey, and Toohey gets next to nothing. Not Hewitt with the hit. It is 3rd down and a yard to go. They gave him the length of the football. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first half. Now they may want to measure this. Here comes the chain gang. The officials today, Bill Kalopoulos, the referee, James Saliola, the umpire. The head linesman is Bill Kulich. The line judge is Mark Steinkirchner, and the back judge, Louis Serretta.
They put these guys on this game just to test you, Joe.
That's a veteran Ohio Conference crew, and they are very good officials, and they're doing an excellent job too today.
3rd down and less than a yard for the first down for Heidelberg. 5:44 to play in the half. Homecoming Saturday afternoon in Alliance, Ohio, on the campus of Mount Union College. Bradley, he has the first down to the 35-yard line. Kevin Pilmer, the last man off the pile. 1st and 10 for Heidelberg. 14-7, Mount Union leading here in the 2nd quarter. Greg Ernst at center, a freshman from Cincinnati, Roger Bacon. Muster at quarterback behind him.
Whoa.
Yep, we got a missed connection there.
I think the quarterback from Heidelberg must be checking off or using some automatics with just a color or a word or something.
I don't know if you'll see the right side. Yeah, you sure do. Right side just taking off without the football.
That was Bob France.
First down. Yes.
The other drive, we were offside twice, and now Heidelberg themselves were off. So
France, a tight end from Elyria Catholic. Cushion comes out wide to the left. Bradley and Tui remain in the Heidelberg backfield. Meyer goes in motion. Muster, the 30, and knocked out of bounds up at the 33-yard line. And the man who made sure he went that way was Chris Weber, the senior linebacker from Stowe Walsh Jesuit. 4:56 to play of the first half. 14-7, Mount Union leads. These clubs in at 1-3. Mount Union's victory, however, in OAC verdict over Otterbein, 29-14. Heidelberg opening day victory over Anderson College, 38-16. Muster. And he's complete with that pass up to the 47-yard line. The connection to Cushion. Kevin Cushion, 6'2", 170, a junior from Parma Senior. They'll put it down officially at the 46, first down, 10 yards to go. That left-hander can wing the ball pretty good, Ken, if he gets a chance.
yes, that was one of the cases where Tui was going in motion, putting 4 receivers out, and they took advantage of that. That was a very good play.
Tui in motion again. Muster gives to Bradley, and the big man pounds over the 50-yard line down to the 47-yard line. Tackled by the Purple Raiders' Scott Hewitt. They put it at the 47. 4:03 to play in the half.
As we're getting close to the half here, well, Heidelberg seems to be going to the offense that we know them, which is wide open. And when you think they're going to pass like that last one, then they run, and then they keep you off balance all the time. They're looking very good right now.
Muster gives to Tui on the draw, and he is at the 45-yard line. Tackled by number 22, Ted Hanlon, junior from Barnesville. Clock down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play. 3rd and 1 for Heidelberg. Meyer in, Anderson out. Coach Dick West from Heidelberg makes that rotation. And now a timeout will be called by the Heidelberg Student Princes to get things squared away in the final 3:05 of the first half. Well, Coach Ken Wabel, we have already seen Russ Crane go to the record book, #1 all-time rushing. And as you observed moments ago, he is putting together what, if it continues, will obviously be his finest game of this year, and maybe one of the best that we have seen him have here at Mount Union.
Yes, he seems to be running with great determination, and when our passes were clicking there, and Heidelberg was, worrying about the passes, and he was coming on that draw play and making some very good yardage. I think that maybe some of his injuries that he's had since preseason are starting to heal up a little bit. Maybe feels a little bit better, and if he does, he's an excellent back, as he showed last year. This year's production is not near as good as it was a year ago, but again, he's been out of practice quite a bit. He has been able to get the feel of things this year.
This being homecoming Saturday at Mount Union College, it was a real pleasure to renew acquaintances with Scott Gindelsberger, who quarterbacked this ball club last year. A fine young man who became nationally known through an article in Sports Illustrated. But there have been some fine quarterbacks come through Mount Union over the years, Coach, and I know you are well aware of that because you've coached most of them.
Yes, we've had our share of all conference quarterbacks and great gentlemen as well.
Well, the ball down to the 42-yard line. as Toohey does what he does about 60 to 65% of the time, involve himself directly in the offense. The clock is rolling inside 3 minutes. First down and 10 yards to go for Heidelberg.
Joe, you mentioned the quarterbacks. One of the things that made this series so exciting was you had Shane Fulton for Heidelberg, who could wing the ball, and then successively Scott Wolf of Mount Union, and then Scott Gimbelsberger. So they've had some real aerial shows between these two teams.
And we had Tony Cola before then.
That's right.
Back to pass is Muster, and he is hit and dropped all the way back at the 48-yard line.
Because of the short time before the half, it's put a lot of pressure on Mount Union's defense because they know Heidelberg can run or pass, and they chose to pass this time, and we're getting a four-man rush, but we've got him contained real well. The receivers are blanketed, and he has nothing to do but be tackled by us. So that was a good call defensively.
Bob Cooper from Hanoverton United Local made the initial hit. Second down, 15 yards to go with 1:57 to play in the half. Muster to Toohey, and Toohey manages to fight his way to the 45-yard line. Cooper and Weber way down there at the bottom. Getting up last for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, Kevin Pilmer. Heidelberg brings out Bob France, a tight end. They've got Cashin in the slot to the right, and Meyer way out to the right. Anderson way out to the left. Toohey in motion, and Muster back to throw the football. It is through the hands of number 88, Kevin Cashin, inside the 40-yard line. Well, what you told me this morning, Coach, is so very, very true. When this Heidelberg offense gets underway, they've got people running in all directions.
Yeah, they had two receivers open then, and the one that tried to catch the ball was open, but he just missed it and dropped it. But Mount Union had a good blitz on it, too, good pass rush. But the quarterback threw it right in there.
Fourth down, just a bit more than 12. And it'll be punt time, as Muster just did get that punt away. And the ball dropped and downed at the 19-yard line.
But I think it hit a student Prince upfield just a bit, Joe. I think they're going to end up spotting the ball at about the 26.
Michael Strumbly was the man who applied a lot of pressure on that punt by Muster.
That was an excellent job by Muster, though, to reach up that high and get that ball, and then to kick it and get rid of it. He displayed his coolness at that time.
And Harry Paytas demonstrates his 2020 as indeed the ball is placed at the 27-yard line, having grazed one of the student Princes on its bouncing trip downfield. 1 minute to play in the first half. And this is probably a delay call. It is delay of game against Mount Union.
We have delay, offense, first down.
First down, 15 yards to go. Ball to the 22-yard line. 14-7, Mount Union leads in the closing ticks of the clock of the first half. Van Clemente comes off the field. Hoja and Iyer are the men wide right and left, and Russ Kring should be now just at about 100 yards rushing for the first half as he rumbles up to the 26-yard line. Second down, 12 yards to go. Israel in, Frost out in the Mount Union backfield.
Israel gives him a bigger back in there to block for Kring than what Brian Frost is, and he's a good player himself.
Kring to Israel, and he pops ahead for about a yard. Remaining home games this year for the Mount Union Purple Raiders. Next Saturday, they will be home to Northern Ohio. That's on the 17th. The 31st, Muskingum comes to call in Alliance. And on November the 14th, the final home game for the Purple Raiders against Marietta. All OAC action.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And the final seconds tick off the clock, and we have come to halftime of this homecoming Saturday at Alliance, Ohio, on the campus of Mount Union College. The Purple Raiders lead 14-7, and we'll be back.
In after-school programs, your kids will find the hero inside themselves. Let us know you on after-school programs in your area. Call 1-800-USA-LEARN.
Here at halftime, it is a pleasure to welcome to our microphone the president of Mount Union College, Dr. Harold Kohlenbrander. Dr. Kohlenbrander, you have been now on the campus for a bit more than a year, and the two things that come immediately to mind, how are things going, A, in terms of development, and B, in terms of enrollment?
On the development side, as most of our constituents know, we're involved in a Foundation for Tomorrow campaign seeking to raise $15.5 million. And I'm delighted to say at this point we are past the $13 million mark and moving toward the goal of completing it within this academic year.
What about the students?
On the enrollment side, we also have a very bright picture. We enrolled 444 new students this fall, up from 382 a year ago. And we have right at 1,200 full-time students this fall compared to about 1,050 last year. So both pictures are bright at this point.
I know you've been involved in a campus beautification program, which is a major undertaking. How's that coming along?
Well, we are right now in the process of informing our total community, the community of Alliance, of our plans and the reasons for them. It takes a bit of information and education and a little humor, and we, I think, are moving along nicely toward that objective as well. There are several elements to it, as you may know, one of which is the alteration of traffic patterns, which has gotten the most attention. But also it's a long-range plan and has elements in it of building for the future in terms of student housing, also additional academic facilities for the future interests of the college.
Dr. Kohlenbrander, this leads us very logically into the changes and alterations that have been made right here at the Mount Union College football stadium. There have been a number of things done, and for those coming back for homecoming, getting a good look at it for the first time, just what are the alterations that have been done here?
Well, they're rather dramatic, and many of them are visible, although there are a few that are buried. The buried ones are the drainage system for the football field, so that we have now a field which supports not only our use, but also the public schools of Alliance, and we're pleased to be able to do that in conjunction with the community. Part of that is a level field. Our former football coach, Ken Wabel, always played on an uphill, downhill slope, depending on the quarter. Well, it's level now, and in addition, there's an 8-lane track and all of the attendant facilities for that, and our stands have been renovated, so we're delighted with the new facilities here at Mount Union College.
We commend you on your efforts, Dr. Kohlenbrander. A pleasure to meet you, and I wish you continued success here at Mount Union College.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tate. It's been my pleasure to be your guest.
We'll have more here at halftime. Homecoming at Mount Union, right after we take this timeout.
It's the WIVM Really Spooky Movie for a Saturday night. I'm Dean Marini.
And I'm Jen Evans.
Ending a week of anticipation in that area. And Joe, why don't you go over the scoring drives for us?
In the first period, Mount Union opened scoring in 4 plays, 49 yards, and it took just 1 minute and 37 to do it before Brian Frost went around end for 27 yards. Then at 12:56 of the second period, Heidelberg tied it on a 2-yard scamper by Bryce Toohey, and Mount Union regained the lead, a 6-minute, 69-yard, 12-play drive. With 6:56 to go, it was capped by Russ Kring's 1-yard plunge. Extra points have been good all the way around.
As far as individual stats, Russ Kring leading the way for the Purple Raiders. He's got 100 yards and 15 carries, as long a 39-yard run, which was a big part of the drive that has put the Purple Raiders ahead. And Heidelberg has had Bradley leading the way with 32 yards and 9 carries. Muster 2 of 10 passing, 22 yards. Rabarsic 4 of 9 for 40. Joe?
Ken Edelman with the opening kick of the second half comes to the 5-yard line. Latrell Eaton picks it off and manages to fight his way to the 25-yard line. And these Heidelberg student princes will begin with the ball First down, 10 yards to go at their own 25-yard line. And Ken Wable, I would imagine that we can expect some more of this wide-open offense from the Princes in the second half.
Yes, I think so. I think they're kind of warmed up now, and they've got their feet on the ground, and I think they're going to put the ball in the air a little bit.
Number 88, Cushion, wide to the left. Number 5, Meyer, wide to the right. The setbacks are 29, Bradley, and 11, Toohey, and Bryce Toohey gets to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Trying the right side with little success, perhaps the length of the ball. These are the OAC officials. Bill Kalopoulos, the referee. James Saliola, the umpire. Head linesman Bill Kulich. The line judge Mark Steinkirchner, and the back judge Louis Soretta. Now, I didn't have any trouble in the first half with those names. They came back to haunt me. They're doing a fine job. That's Cushion in motion. And Muster back to throw, and as he is hit, he completes his pass to the 40-yard line, caught by Bob France, the tight end, 6'3", 220, a sophomore from Elyria Catholic. And the Student Princes have a 1st and 10 at their own 40.
That was a little bootleg pass that kind of fooled Mount Union. Flo went to the wide side of the field, and the quarterback kept the ball into the boundary, and it was very nice executed play.
Again, Meyer wide right, Cushion wide left. Toohey in motion. Give to Bradley, and he gets a yard. A minute and 15 seconds into the third quarter, Mount Union leading 14-7. The ball is now at the Heidelberg 42-yard line. Coach Dick West of Heidelberg sending Andresen into the ball game in place of Meyer, running plays in from the sideline. It's Andresen to the left, Cushion to the right. Muster 40 and 43 before he is taken out of bounds on the near sidelines by number 22, Ted Hanlon, a 6', 183-pound junior from Barnesville, Ohio. .13:06 to play in the third quarter. 14-7, Mount Union leads. And it is third down, 7 yards to go.
This is a big play for the Mount Union defense in this situation here, just shy of the 50-yard line.
And again, the defensive line jumps.
This time I think the quarterback jumped out of there too, though, and I think that the penalty's going to be on Heidelberg.
It is illegal procedure against the Heidelberg Student Princes. In the first half, Ken Wable, the Mount Union Purple Raiders on several occasions had problems with the Heidelberg cadence, but that time the Student Princes had the problems in terms of the man who was making the count.
Yes, on the Heidelberg drive for the touchdown, there was 2 times that Mount Union was penalized. One by the defensive line, and the other by the linebackers on a blitz being offside. So that helped contribute a little bit to the drive for Heidelberg's 1 touchdown.
It's 3rd and 13 for the Heidelberg Student Princes, operating from just about their own 38-yard line. Cushion in motion. And quarterback Mike Muster nailed at the 35. That play seemed to break down as it developed.
Yeah, I think Mount Union had some their defensive linemen taking some inside gaps on that, and I think they rushed by the offensive line, and it was a good defense, a good tough situation there. 3rd down, 7 yards to go.
Kevin Pilmer made the tackle, and here is Muster with the punt. Spirals it to the 30. And fighting his way up to the 35-yard line is Brian Moore from Akron Springfield, a sophomore. And it'll put the ball, first down, 10 yards to go for Mount Union at their own 36-yard line.
Now, Purple Raiders featured a ground attack primarily in the first half as 21 of the plays were in the rushing department. Rabarczyk put it up 9 times, completing 4. So we'll see here as we begin the second half what the plan of attack is.
Hoja comes out wide to the right. Bill Iyer out wide to the left. The setbacks are Frost and Kring. Kring picked up 100 yards rushing in the first half. Is the pass from Rabarczyk to Hoja. Good move by Hoja as he sidestepped number 8, Johnny Rhodes, for Heidelberg at the 45, and it's first down, 10 yards to go.
This is, we tried to throw a deep pass off of this same action earlier in the first half, which was intercepted. This time it's a little stop pattern to the split receiver, and he makes a very fine move and gets a first down out of it.
First and 10, 12:21 to play in the third quarter. Rabarczyk to Kring, and Kring right up the middle, 35 and 30, dragged down to the 27-yard line. Tackle by Nick Antonacci, the junior from Chaminade High School in North Miami Beach, Florida.
Don't want to take anything away from Kring, but boy, was there a hole for him. Fine job by the offensive line in creating it, and Kring got to it in a hurry.
That was from the I formation, which we very seldom get into here at Mount Union, but I formation, and the hole opened up well.
At the 28, first and 10, Keith Rabarczyk back to pass, caught by Iyer at the 18 to the 17, and downed again by Antonacci. The officials look at it, first down, and again 10 yards to go.
This is a drop back pass that Bill Iyer does a little short hook in front of the zone defense, catches the ball, makes a nice move, falls forward, and we come up with the first down.
Hoja and Iyer both wide to the right. The give to Don Israel, and Israel falls inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now they plant the ball right on the 15-yard line. Second down, 7 yards to go. Frost comes back into the backfield, replacing Israel. Brian Frost, 5'7", 160 pounds, a junior from Youngstown, Austintown Pitch High School. Iyer left, Hoja right, Kring and Frost in the backfield. That's Frost in motion. Rabarczyk to Kring, to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone for a touchdown. Russ Kring with a 15-yard run up the middle, and it is now 20-7.
This was really good. We put a man in motion, which took one of the linebackers out of there. We ran a little trap play up the middle. Gets one linebacker, our wide receiver come in and blocked him, and Russ ran very easily into the end zone. Very fine play.
Russ Kring with his second touchdown of the game, and now has 136 yards rushing in 17 attempts. So that 42 yards that he needed is long gone. He is the career rushing leader in Mount Union history.
Edelman kicks out of the boring hole, drills the extra point, and it is 21-7 in favor of the Mount Union Purple Raiders in Alliance. And we'll be back.
Well, Russ Kring's second touchdown gives the Mount Union Purple Raiders a 21-7 lead. It's also Kring's sixth rushing touchdown of the season, this being the fifth game of the season for Mount Union. And that particular scoring drive, 64 yards in 6 plays, time of possession 2 minutes, 15-yard run by Kring capping it.
Ken Edelman, freshman place kicker from Brush High School, Lyndhurst, Ohio, boots the ball down the middle. Meyer and Eaton collide. It's Meyer who maintains possession and manages to fight his way up to the 29-yard line. Ken Wabel, he did well considering the fact that he had to bounce off Luttrell Eaton when he caught the ball.
Yes, I think they need some signal there between the two of them as to which one should take it and which one should lead for the blocking. It could have been a very dangerous thing.
30-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for the Heidelberg Student Princes. Mount Union leading 21-7 with 10:50 to play in the third quarter. Mike Muster. Muster threw in the direction of Bradley, and it will be second down and 10 yards to go.
Purple Raiders doing a good job that time. Kevin Pilmer causing a lot of problems along with Mike Strumbly, and Muster just never had the opportunity to find anybody.
Mount Union looks like they've really gained some confidence from the first half, and they're playing much more aggressively now and playing much more like they can control the ball game. Heidelberg's going to have to put it in high gear here or they're going to get left behind.
Second down and 10. Cushion out wide to the left. Anderson wide to the right and Tui in motion. Give to Bradley. 35, 40, and ahead to the 43-yard line. That should be good for first down yardage, and it is.
That was a motion man again, and they've got everybody spread out. And they give it to the fullback. He's going to run a draw play. Mount Union is trying to cover wide receivers to the outside, and it's a very good play for a first down. I think they heard what I said about getting on the ball. They moved on that play.
10:28 to play, third quarter. Mike Muster gives to Tui, 45 and 47-yard line. Tackle was made by Ken Scoshin, a 6'1", 196 linebacker, a sophomore from Cuyahoga Heights, Valley View, Ohio. 9:57 and counting. All at the 48-yard line. Second down, 5 yards to go for the Student Princes of Heidelberg College from Tiffin, Ohio. Muster. Deflected pass and caught. Caught down at the 42-yard line by Bradley.
That's shades of the immaculate reception.
We had excellent coverage there. In fact, our coverage was too tight. He just tried to get the ball in. It was deflected, and then the catch was made. Nobody was open until the deflection.
9.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Bradley with his first pass reception of the afternoon on a ricochet. Meyer wide left. Cushion wide right. Tui makes a move, and Muster hands the ball to him, and he's inside the 40-yard line. Second down and about 8 yards to go. Tackle made by Mike Strumbly. He is 5'11", 210, a senior from Mayfield, Highland Heights. Heidelberg with a 2nd and 8. Mount Union leading 21-7. 8:40 to play in the third quarter. It's Muster to Tui, the give to Meyer. Meyer works his way inside the 40 down to the 37. Ken Wabel, another new wrinkle in the Heidelberg scheme of things.
Yes, that was from the wing tee. That was a halfback to halfback reverse, and Kevin Pilmer did a super job with some penetration. You see that he's over there making the tackle. Number 65 and 98 is also assisting in it.
And that number 98 belongs to Ken Scoshin, a sophomore from Valley View. Oh, it is now third down, 7 yards to go. Cashing out wide to the left. Long count by Muster. He fires a BB to Andrushin, and Andrushin is stopped at about the 32-yard line. That should be good for first down. They'll mark his forward progress right to the 30. First and 10.
And suddenly Muster is finding his receivers. He's completed his last 3 out of 4 passes. That one good for a first down and continues the drive.
Well, Coach, you said it. This is a must drive for Heidelberg, down by 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. First and 10. Cushion to the left. They put Meyer into a slot on the left side. Meyer goes in motion. And Muster has to keep the football, and he dances out of bounds inside the 40 at about the 37 or 38-yard line. Gets a long yard. Second down 9. Helping him find the sidelines and knocking him out of bounds was Chris Weber, the senior linebacker from Stowe. 7:14 to play of the third quarter. Homecoming Saturday at Alliance, campus of Mount Union College. And the Purple Raiders have a 21-7 lead in the third quarter. Muster back to Toohey for Heidelberg at the 30, at the 25, down to the 21-yard line. Brought down at the 21 by Ted Hanlon.
This is a toss sweep to Toohey, who's their best ball carrier, and he makes a nice move to the inside and sets up his blocks, and it's all jammed up in there. He takes it to the outside and almost gets a first down of it.
As you
very,
saw,
very close to a first down on that play.
As you saw the graphic on Toohey, the fact that he's only a sophomore certainly sets things up for Heidelberg for the future as far as the offensive backfield is concerned.
6:35 to play of the third quarter. Third down, 1 yard to go. Toohey to Bradley, the first down, and out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Knocked out of bounds at the 17 by B.J. Tedesco, the junior defensive back out of Cleveland St. Edward. Now the fact that Michael Muster is a sophomore and Bryce Toohey is a sophomore, and that Roger Bradley is a sophomore would lead you to believe Heidelberg is offensively fixed for a while. Muster, diving attempt by Caution down to the 10-yard line, just a bit out of his range, and with 6:20 to go, it'll be second down, 10 yards to go.
This game's so typical, it seems, of these two teams and the battles that they have waged in the past. Mount Union up 21-7, you would think in pretty good shape, but Heidelberg keeps coming at you.
6:20 to play of the third quarter. Muster looking for Cushion, hits him down at the 5-yard line. Knocked down by Bill Mundy, the senior defensive back from Walsh Jesuit. But Heidelberg is now first down and goal to go at the Mount Union 5-yard line. Andrushin goes out wide to the right. Bob Prance, the tight end, to the left side. That's Toohey in motion. He gets the ball, running behind Prance to the 5, 3, 2, and 1. The last key block laid by Larry Lobring, a freshman out of Lexington High School down in Mansfield.
This again is the toss sweep to the tailback Toohey, and he does some real good inside running down to the goal line to get the ball almost to the 1-yard line.
5 minutes, 25 seconds to play of the third quarter under darkening skies on a Saturday afternoon in Alliance, Ohio. OAC football, Heidelberg and the Purple Raiders of Mount Union. Muster. That's Meyer in motion. That's Bradley. And that's a Heidelberg touchdown. Well, driving in for 6 points is Roger Bradley, 6'2", 210, the sophomore from Circleville. And it is 21-13. Kicking will be John Davis. And his kick is good. So with 5:07 to play in the third quarter, it's 21-14 Mount Union, and we'll be back.
They converted that crucial drive into a touchdown. The drive covering 14 plays, 70 yards. Time of possession was 5:49, capped by Bradley's 1-yard run. With 5:07 remaining in the third quarter, this one is still a ball game. 21-14, Mount Union leading.
That was an outstanding drive. The Heidelberg play selection was great on that time. The execution was outstanding too, and it's so untypical Heidelberg, who is usually a big play team under Shane Fulton, their other quarterbacks. I've never seen Heidelberg keep the ball so long. Usually it takes them 3 plays and they've got it going.
Chip Strom drives the kickoff to Israel at the 20, and he pounds his way up to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Mount Union Purple Raiders will take over. First down and 10 yards to go with 5:07 to play. Third quarter.
One thing about Mount Union's kickoff return team, they are missing Joe Knoll, who was a real threat for them the last couple of years. He's injured and hasn't been playing. So, again, the breakaway threat may be gone from the kickoff team.
Incidentally, John Davis is now just 2 extra points away from the Heidelberg record of 32 consecutive PATs. Rabarczyk to Kring to the outside, 35 and 40, and waltzed out of bounds by Anthony Kaiser, just shy of the 40-yard line.
Good pursuit by Ken Rankin of the Student Princes, but he just couldn't bring Kring down by himself.
Yeah, we had a little penetration there, and we didn't get a good fake on our inside back, and Heidelberg played that all the way. They were ready for the play, I think.
Ball at the 40-yard line, second down, 6 yards to go. Ed Hoja comes out wide to the right. In motion, number 81, Brian Coffey. Rabarczyk lobs one out of bounds. Bill Iyer was the closest Purple Raider to the ball. It'll be third down and 6.
There's a little different wrinkle that time, Joe. That was the tight end who was back off the line and came in motion so that the flanker and the split end could still be out as the wide receivers. And it changed the strength of the formation, but our pass was a little bit errant on the play.
Brian Frost returns to the backfield, replacing Israel. It is third down, 6 yards to go with 4:55 to play in the third quarter, and there are flags all over the field.
Yeah, Purple Raiders had somebody lifting up on the offensive line. It's going to be a procedure call.
Dead ball, illegal procedure call, puts the ball back at the 35-yard line. Third down, 11 yards to go. Israel back into the ball game. Hoja, slot right. And Rabarczyk to throw for San Clemente. Caught the ball up at the 48-yard line. And that should be good for the first down. They'll spot it at the 49. A big play by the Purple Raiders, Ken.
Yeah, this is, again, our drop back passing series. And instead of hitting the up man, we hit a deeper man on this curl. And it's wide open. And Heidelberg had a little slow reacting to it. Well-thrown ball and a well-caught ball.
I remember the first pass that Julio San Clemente ever caught. It was a big one as well in a game that we televised down here. Iyer to the left. And the give is to Kring, and Kring fights his way inside the 45. 4:19 to go, third quarter. 21-14 Mount Union. Russ Kring having an outstanding afternoon in the ground gaining department. Picks up 7 more.
He now is at 146 yards. Carried the ball 19 times.
Kevin Blankenship comes into the defensive backfield, replacing Gregory Jetting for Heidelberg. And back to passes Robarczyk. He completes it at the 30-yard line. That's another first down as Ed Hoja comes up with the key grab. He is 5'10", 160, a junior from Paynesville, Riverside.
Yeah, we've been hitting our curl or our turn-in pass, and Heidelberg's been playing it pretty good. This time we do an out maneuver with our receiver. And he's much more wider open now because it's been set up by the other pattern, and it was a very good pass again and put us in good field position.
Higher slot left. Robarczyk hands to Kring. Kring, the 30, the 25, and the 20-yard line. Another Mount Union first down. Kaiser had to come up and make the hit along with Nick Antonacci, who it seems has been in about half the tackles for Heidelberg this afternoon. Antonacci is from North Miami Beach, Florida. He's 6'2", 220, and a junior. 3:15 to play in the third quarter as Robarczyk drops back to pass. He's got the time, and he overshoots Hoja on the sideline down to the 3-yard line. Second down, 10 yards to go.
That time his offensive line did give him the time, and Hoja finally shook free, but the ball just overthrown.
Yeah, he didn't come open until late, though, and it was just tough for Keith to spot him over there.
Ball at the 20-yard line. Second down, 10 yards to go. Mount Union leading Heidelberg 21-14. 3:08 to play in the third quarter. Higher in motion, Robarczyk fires to the end zone, and it is intercepted in the end zone. The man who caught the deflected pass was number 8, John Rhodes from Greenville, Ohio. And that turns it around here in the closing minutes of the third quarter.
This is a kind of a counter pass play, and there's nobody open. And I think Keith is really trying to throw the ball out of the end zone away, but receiver runs over there, and it's just barely intercepted before it's out of bounds.
Bill Iyer of Mount Union and Jeff Hall of Heidelberg collided, and the ball came away from both of them for the interception by John Rhodes. Now Heidelberg, first down, 10 yards to go at their own 20-yard line. 2:58 to play in the third quarter. 21-14 Mount Union. Bradley in motion. Tui with a ball to the 25 to the 30 and skids up to the 32-yard line. Bill Munday made sure he hit the turf.
This is a counter dive play, reverse pivot by the quarterback, and our defense is running and over pursuing on a play, and he kind of cuts back in behind it. Very good play, first down, and Heidelberg again is in good field position.
Ray Anderson, split end to the left. Cashin, wide receiver to the right, Tui in motion. And jumping that time was the right tackle for Heidelberg, Craig Bianchi. He's a big one, 6'3", 285, from Eden, New York.
Now, just as the cadence was throwing Mount Union off in the first half, it looks like maybe Muster's cadence is drawing his own players away.
Yeah, I think there's a hesitation in there when they're going on a later or latter count, and it seems to be upsetting in there to both teams.
First down, 15 yards to go with 2.5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Tui in motion. Muster to Bradley. 30, 35, 36-yard line. Roger Bradley from Circleville, Ohio. Toohey had most of the advanced billing coming into this game today, but Bradley has done a fine job. He's caught a pass, he's scored a touchdown, and he's run well. Toohey in motion. Mustard being chased. Unloads in time. Picked off of the 40, up to the 43-yard line, and that should be good for another Heidelberg first down. Cashin made the catch.
I don't think this was supposed to be a run on the thing, but the quarterback, Mustard, made it very convincing out on the perimeter. It was going to be a run, and then he just kind of tossed it out to his flanker who was standing out there, and they made the first down up. It was a very good play.
1 minute, 30 seconds to play of the third quarter. 21-14, Mount Union. But Heidelberg moving the ball. They're at their own 44. First down, 10 yards to go. Mustard to Toohey. 45, 50, and belted down just over the 50-yard line into Mount Union territory. Mike Strumbly made the initial contact. Number 52. Anderson and Meyer back into the ball game for Heidelberg. Anderson comes out wide to the left. They slot Meyer. Bradley and Toohey in an eye set behind the quarterback Mike Mustard. Back to Toohey. 45 and 40. Bob Celeste tripped him up. First down.
And Toohey now up to 77 yards rushing and 17 carries. He had been shut off at 29 yards at the end of the first half, but he's turned it on here in the third quarter.
Ball resting at the Mount Union 40-yard line. 26 seconds and counting in the third quarter. Cashin wide to the right. Meyer wide to the left. Bradley in motion. Toohey hits a purple wall at the 40-yard line. Second down. And the final 5 seconds of the third quarter click off, and that's it. The third quarter is in the books, and at the end of 3, 21-14 Mount Union. We'll be back.
Local. Several games that the Purple Raiders have played. They lost a real tough one to Wittenberg last week, 25-24, losing to Geneva 26-23. A nice win over Otterbein, 29-14. An opening game win, losing 17-15, and now another tight one as the Student Princes are on a drive.
21-14. 15 minutes left in this one in Alliance, Ohio. And Muster with a 2nd and 9. Ball just inside the Mount Union 40. Muster, the lob for Anderson is out of bounds. 2nd down, make it now 3rd down, 9 yards to go. Into the ball game comes Bill Beebe, 5'8", 167, a sophomore defensive tackle from Brush High School in South Euclid. And he has replaced Bob Cooper, a senior from Hanoverton, Ohio, United Local. Toohey in motion. Mustard has to run and comes up short of first down yardage at the 35-yard line. Kilmer made the tackle.
Exactly. Joe Palmer made a nice play there. That had a lot of yardage written all over it. But
we had a good pass coverage here. We've got receivers blocked. They can't get to the ball at all. And ultimately, Pilmer comes off there and makes the tackle. The other play before was kind of an automatic. And Heidelberg's drive is getting kind of stalled right now. They've had 2 bad plays here in a row to stall them.
It's 4th and 5 at the 35. Heidelberg, one more shot in the cylinder. And the whistle blows, a delay of game call. That'll knock it back to 4th and 10 at the 40. Well, it was a tough nut to crack at the 35, Ken Wable. Now at the 40, it's even tougher.
Fourth down.
Well, it is. There's kind of a guessing game going on there. The Mount Union defense has got some rushes, and when they do, expect them pass. Well, Heidelberg's been running a draw play, and if they don't rush, then the quarterback's got a lot of time. So whoever's guessing right most of the time is going to come out on top.
Now that 5-yard penalty caused Coach Dick West to decide to punt. And Muster will gets it off from midfield, angling it toward the near side. Ball takes a wicked little hop and goes out of bounds just inside the 20-yard line. Mount Union takes over, first down and 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line. 13:38 to play in the ball game, and the Purple Raiders lead 21-14.
Muster's 20-yard punt having the same effect as what a 40-yard punt would have, as ball went out right at the 20-yard line.
Quarterback Keith Rabarczyk, number 14. He's 6 feet 190, a junior from Oberlin, Elyria Catholic. Paul Ricks over the center, the 6-foot junior from Mayfield. Rabarczyk, the flip to Hoja on the reverse. Hoja wants to throw and unloads for Bill Iyer. Overshot him. John Rhodes was back on defense, number 8.
This is the same type of action as our reverse was run a little bit earlier, where we're giving it to the split end around, and this time the split end Hoja pulls up and throws the ball out there, and Bill Iyer, meanwhile, is going on a cross route all the way across the field. It's just overthrown, but it was a good play call at this time, too.
Iyer goes out wide to the right, Hoja to the near sideline. Rabarczyk back again. Fires over the middle to Kring, and Kring is over the 30 up to the 31-yard line. That should be good for first down. Well, Russ Kring is showing something else that he can do. Ken Wable, that's catch the football.
Yeah, he's a great pass receiver. Heidelberg's got our outside receivers pretty well bottled up now, and with some extra men, and then Kring is circling across the middle on a short route and makes a good effort at the end to get a couple more yards, and gives us a first down, keeps the ball, and keeps our momentum going.
Frost into the backfield with Kring behind Rabarczyk. The give to Kring, and he is nailed for one of the few times this afternoon. The first man to put the crusher on him was big number 92, Chris Hostetler, 6 feet 205 out of Mansfield, Madison. Inside 13 minutes to play in the game. Mount Union leads 21-14. Next Saturday, the Purple Raiders are at home here at Mount Union College to Ohio Northern. Back to pass, Rabarczyk. A flag on the play. Iyer got a hand on the ball, but that's all. Third down. Hobbling off the field is Ken Rankin, a defensive end out of Sandusky.
Offense.
Offensive holding. Rankin has been replaced in the Heidelberg lineup by number 97, Steve Sicoli, a sophomore from Sandusky St. Mary's. Well, penalties can kill you, and this one hurts, to say the least. Back to the 22-yard line.
Now, just from a field position standpoint, Purple Raiders losing ground.
12:27 left to play in the game. 21-14, Mount Union. Iyer to the right, Hoja to the left. Frost in motion. Kring started to the right, tried to cut back in, and he is stopped by Brian Wright from Williamsburg, Ohio. Played his high school ball at Western Brown. .12:09 to play in the ball game, and again it is Israel in and Frost out in the Mount Union backfield. Hoja, wide left. Iyer out wide to the right. Kring to the 25. And it will be a punt for Mount Union as they are 4th and 17 with 11:35 to play. And dropping back to receive that punt is number 40, David Simpson, another Floridian from North Miami Beach. He'll be joined by Eric Barnhart, a junior from Bainbridge, Ohio.
This is just the second punt of the game for Mount Union.
Flags as Roach unloads a beautiful punt. That was his second punt as a Mount Union Purple Raider. It was a dandy, but the flags flew as the kick was made. And it is illegal procedure against Mount Union. So he'd better have a better one than that in his boodle right now, because the Mount Union Purple Raiders are back another 5 yards to the 20-yard line.
Procedure. Offense 5 yards. It's still 4th down.
Referee Bill Kalapidis. 11-11 to play in the ball game. Simpson and Barnhart waiting. And this punt, not nearly as good as the one that didn't count. Ricochets and goes out at the 44-yard line, and Heidelberg will start at the Mount Union 44. Well, Harry Paytas, the number 21 has been an operative number for the Heidelberg Student Princes in this series of late. In fact, the last time they won a ball game for Mount Union, you have to go all the way back to '73. They scored 21 points in the game, but they have, I think, what, 4 or 5 games in a row now ended up with 21 points.
That's right. They've been on the losing side of things at 21, and in this case it would be a tie, but Purple Raiders hoping to have other ideas.
Tui in motion, the give to Bradley, and the big man gets inside the 40 down to the 37, 38-yard line. 10:45 to play in the ball game. Heidelberg's quarterback, Michael Muster, is 6'3", 195, a sophomore from Cuyahoga Falls High School.
Same high school produced Scott Ginnelsberger for us, Joe.
Tui in motion, the flip to him. He heads for the sideline and is banged down at the 30, but a flag on the play.
That may be in holding territory there.
10:14 to play. Judging from the response from the Mount Union bench.
Holding. Offense.
That's why.
That's a very costly penalty on Heidelberg.
Well, they take the ball back to the 48-yard line. This drive started at the 44, and they are 4 yards behind that thanks to the penalty, but Anderson and Meyer back into the ball game. Bob Prance departs.
There you see on the headsets Danny Montgomery, the defensive coordinator of the Purple Raiders.
Tui in motion. Muster unloads down the middle, intended for Anderson, and it is intercepted. Down at the 12-yard line, an interception by number 17, B.J. Tedesco. 10:05 to play in the ball game, and the first interception for a defensive back for Mount Union this year.
The quarterback's coming out looking onside to his right, and he sees someone way down to the opposite side and really overthrows the ball tremendously, and our deep back intercepts the ball, and that was very good coming out of that situation. Heidelberg had some momentum until the penalty.
The 3 previous interceptions by Mount Union this year have all been by linebackers. Rabarsek hits Iyer, and check that. Number 81 driving ahead, the tight end, is Brian Coffey, and Coffey from Salem is up to the 31-yard line. It's a first down for the Mount Union Purple Raiders, and Ken Rabel, now is the time for Mount Union to capitalize.
Yes, this is just a little outside release by our tight end, going right up a seam, and the quarterback throws it real well. It's a very good call, and it was an open play, and we got good results out of that.
Anthony Kaiser, number 1, made the initial hit on Coffey, but Coffey just bounced right off. Now Coffey in motion. And Kring grinds out another yard or two. A couple of divots with him, and it's up to the 32, 33-yard line. 9:27 to play in the ball game. Mount Union leads 21-14. Second down, 8 yards to go. Frost and Israel out. Frost will join Kring in the backfield. Hoja goes out wide to the right. Meyer in the slot to the right, and Rabarczyk back. And just as he is hit, he unloads a pass that results in a flag being thrown. Hoja was the intended receiver.
Appeared as though Anthony Kaiser came in a little too soon from his defensive secondary
pass
spot.
Interference. Defense.
Yes, this is a curl pattern where we're coming inside again, and the back is really playing the receiver too hard instead of the ball, and it's very obvious. He knocks receiver down before the ball gets there. And
8:58 to play in the game. The penalty results in a first down. Ball out to the 45-yard line. Russ Kring has become the all-time leading rusher for Mount Union here today. Number 25, 5'11", 205, a senior from Sebring, West Branch. Iyer, wide left. Rabarczyk, however, looking down the middle for Eddie Hoja. Got it, and down at the 22-yard line. That's the way they diagram them in practice, Coach.
this is more typical of the Heidelberg Mount Union games that I have in my mind, too. Let them go.
First down, 10 yards to go for the Mount Union Purple Raiders with 8:51 to play in the ball game. Keith Rabarczyk hitting Ed Hoja, and Hoja comes out wide to the right, Iyer to the left. The give to Kring. Kring at the 20 to the 15 to the 10, and he grinds his way down to the 7-yard line. Purple Raiders knocking on the door.
It was excellent offensive strategy. Coming back from a long post pattern like that and then run a draw play off of that same type of action. And Kring really did a fine job running and got the most out of that play.
8:28 in the ball game. 21-14 Mount Union, and the Purple Raiders are at the Heidelberg 7. First and goal. This is Brian Frost inside the 5 and down to the 3-yard line. Tackle made by number 99, Charles Renault, sophomore from Monroe. Israel back into the ball game, replacing Frost. Second down goal to go. Ball at the 3. Kring to the goal line. They stand him up and shove him back. Third down and less than a yard. 7:35 to play in the ball game.
Looked like the hole was there that time, but it closed quickly.
Well, we're playing a power I formation on there. We're kind of faking to the first back and giving to King and to Kring, and he does a little cutback, and there was a little soft spot in there, but Heidelberg closed it pretty good. They're pretty good on the goal line.
Third and goal. Frost to the goal line. He didn't make it. Fourth down. In the middle for Heidelberg, number 56 is Jim Holman from St. Mary's, Ohio.
Yeah, Jim Holman's that middle linebacker, and we haven't called his name a lot as a first hitter, but he's been in on a lot of tackles, and is an excellent middle linebacker and will be good on this goal line.
4th down, and again just inches, so they decide to go for 3. Edelman will kick it off to the boring hole, and he drills it. 24-14 in favor of Mount Union. We'll be back.
Cheetah, what is it? Tarzan does not understand. Man looks like Dan, but does not smell like Dan.
Oh, Cheetah, leave me alone. Oh, what is it?
Holding the Purple Raiders to just 3 on that particular drive. There's still time, but time definitely running out on the Student Princess, Joe.
Edelman's kick sails down to the 10, picked up by Meyer to the 15, to the 20. He bounces off Bob Pietro, a sophomore out of Macedonia. Well, let's see, 8 plays, 84 yards, 3 minutes and 34 seconds before Edelman's field goal of 17 official yards. And he is now 4-5 in field goals this year.
That was an excellent drive, and that field goal just was a very, very necessary thing, and that just kind of put us over the edge.
They had to come away with some points on that drive.
Right.
Muster. He's looking and finds Cashin up at the 34-yard line. The ball came free on the hit, but the ball and ball carrier down before it got away. Scott Hewitt made the tackle.
There you see Cashin catching the ball and then getting popped pretty good by a couple of Purple Raiders, and he was slow in getting up. There you see, it looks like he may have gotten a Charlie horse.
He's to the sideline now. Meyer in motion. And Muster back to pass. That was a wobbly number to Toohey, but Toohey picked it off his kneecap and took it up to the 39-yard line. Second down, 4 yards to go. Latrell Eaton into the ball game from Akron Garfield. He's a freshman. We've seen him return punts this afternoon and kickoffs. But he's into the offensive scheme of things, wide to the left. Toohey in motion. The give to Bradley up to the 42. Down to 5 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the ball game. Third down, 2 yards. Now Cashin comes back into the ball game, replacing Eaton. (24-14). Mount Union leads with 4:44 to go. Pitch to Toohey, and Toohey is shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down and a short yard for the first down. Dick West sending number 85, Bart Randolph, into the ball game. A freshman from Wadsworth with instructions for quarterback Mike Muster. 4:04 left. Single setback is Bradley. He gets the ball and the first down to the 45-yard line. Tackle by Jim Greaves. is a 5'10", 189-pound junior from Kirtland.
Well, this is a survival series for Heidelberg, and they've survived the first test, but time running out.
3:45. Mount Union by 10. Same formation. Single setback is Bradley. Toohey is in motion. Muster fakes to Bradley, throws to Cushion, who made a circus catch. And now flag flies. Ball spotted at the 48-yard line. Mount Union players indicating the penalty. Yep, against Heidelberg. An eligible receiver downfield.
And if I'm not mistaken, loss of down goes with that.
Yeah, this was a case where I think the wide receiver was lined up up on the line of scrimmage, which made the wingback made the tight end, the guy got the ball ineligible. And I think it was an error, it was a mistake by Heidelberg, but it wasn't meant to be that way. But the official evidently was on the ball and caught it right away.
First down, 15 yards to go. 3:23 and counting. I set Bradley and Toohey behind Muster. And the pass is to Cushion to the 41, and he is leveled right in front of the Heidelberg bench of the 45. Tedesco hit him. So did Bob Celeste.
Here's this play action pass again with a delayed fake to the tailback, and then we're going to hit a guy in the flat. But as he turns around, the defensive back is coming up and gets a very good hit on him, and for very short yardage on the play.
Chris Weber got there first, and then the other fellows applied the cruncher.
Yeah, Bob Celeste is a good defensive back and made a good hit then.
Muster to Toohey, 45 and 50 across into Mount Union territory to the 47-yard line with exactly 3 minutes to play in the football game. And Father Time is donning a purple jersey here at Alliance, Ohio. Change for the Heidelberg student princes, Bart Randolph in to replace Cushion. Toohey is now flanked to the right, Meyer to the left. Toohey goes a bit in motion, and they give to Bradley, and Bradley jumps ahead to the 42-yard line. Brian Martz on the bottom of that pileup. Brian, a junior from Alliance. Played at Lake High School. 2:25 left. Toohey goes in motion for Heidelberg. Muster fires to Toohey. He caught the ball and is immediately knocked down at the 35-yard line by B.J. Tedesco. But the clock has moved inside 2 minutes, and so Ken Wable, unless the student princes become student magicians, it's going to be a happy homecoming here at Mount Union today.
Yes, the Mount Union defense is playing real well right now. The secondary is playing well, and so are the linebackers. So it's going to be tough for them to get in.
2nd and 3, Toohey in motion. Bradley pounds his way inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line with 1 minute and 32 seconds to play. That's good for a first down.
It's a time-consuming drive. It's an impressive drive, but at this stage in the game, I'm sure the Princes would like to have more yardage in less time.
Well, this is the draw play again with the fullback gaining good yardage up the inside, but Mount Union is trying to stop the receivers on the outside, thinking that with time running out, they're going to pass.
Down to 1 minute and 20 seconds. And Muster unloads, and there's pass interference.
But he caught it anyway.
Bob Celeste made the hit just before the football arrived, and it is raining here in Alliance. Just a very light rain starting to fall.
All right, we have defensive pass interference.
This is a curl where the receiver's going down, stopping and coming back, and our defender is behind, trying to play through the receiver to get to the ball, and he hits the receiver just before he makes his contact with the ball. It was a good call by the officials. It was pass interference. First down on a 20-yard line.
Meyer comes out of the lineup for the Heidelberg Student Princes. Todd Meyer, a sophomore from Warren Western Reserve. Muster pumps once and then is rolled down as Kevin Pilmer made the contact that stops things with 46 seconds left in the game. Second down and 15 yards to go.
Well, this is a game I'm sure Larry Karras has to be pleased with his troops and as well as his coaches. Don Montgomery, the defensive coordinator, who I inadvertently called Denny. You remember Denny, don't you,
I remember
Coach
Denny.
Wable?
He played quarterback. Don played guard.
That's right. Well, I know Don a lot better than I know Denny, but somehow I got the other one in my mouth. Jeff Wendorf on the offensive line. Jeff Witowitz, the secondary. Bill Coltslow doing the linebackers. And, of course, Larry Karras, the head coach. And this coaching staff has been through a lot in these first 4 games because they've had some real heartbreakers, but the team seems to have bounced back in this one against the Student Princes.
Well, it's good to get this win for today because we deserved to win, or played well enough to win last week. We had a couple bad things that happened to us, but the team is improving and they're getting better, and they'll show improvement week to week. They'll be in the ball games.
Coach, in a situation such as this where the losses have been tough, it's really going to help the coaching staff and the ball club to come away with a win because it kind of makes them feel they're aimed in the right direction.
Yes, they know they're doing things right, and sooner or later, why the bad things become the good things.
Tui goes in motion for Heidelberg. The pass is outside to Todd Meyer, and he is nailed at the 15-yard line by Tedesco. 35 seconds and counting. Now the whistle blows. First down. Move the... Nope, they have got third down. They're changing the footballs. Just very light, misty rain falling here at Alliance. It is third down and 5 yards to go. 29 seconds left of the game.
Now, we started this one in sunshine, but the clouds have rolled in, and field has taken a lot of rain this week. And it is a new field, but nonetheless, the Alliance High School Aviators played here last night as well. And now with some more misty rain, makes things a little more difficult.
Mount Union will be home to Ohio Northern on the 17th. They'll play at Baldwin Wallace on the 24th, come home from Muskingum on the 31st, play at Capitol on the 7th, and finish their regular season at home on the 14th of November against Marietta. So we'll be 2-3 overall after today, 2-0 in the conference.
Got some tough teams left on that schedule, Joe. Some very good football teams, and there'll be some very good games when Mount Union meets some of these other opponents.
Yeah, that's 2-1 in the OAC for the Purple Raiders. Heidelberg, after today, will have to go home to play Baldwin Wallace next Saturday. Then they go to Mount Union, come home for Capitol, go down to Marietta on the 7th, and home for Wittenberg on the 14th. So they have a tough road to hoe as well. This is the 31st meeting between these two teams. Mount Union has won 18 times. Last year it was 28-21. Mount Union a winner. Clock ticking away down to 45 seconds. They're resetting it.
I think the officials may have inadvertently stopped the clock.
Yes.
And, that's the reason for the reset.
All right, they have stopped the clock with 34 seconds left to the ball game. And it is third down, 5 yards to go at the 15-yard line for Heidelberg.